Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is the week 1 class, everything about gear basics. So in this session we'll talk about what is a camera and types of cameras, everything about lenses, the accessories and how to use your camera. Let's begin. The first thing is what is a camera? So this is how does a camera work? Uh, the light bounces off your subject, the lens focuses the light onto the sensor, the shutter opens and closes to the control time, the sensor records the light as data, and the image is saved as JPEG or RAW file. So these are the meanings of the words sensor, shutter, and aperture. Now let's talk about the types of cameras. This is the DSLR camera. It is the classic choice. What is it? DSLR means digital single lens reflex. It has a mirror inside that reflects light up to the viewfinder so you see exactly what the lens sees. While shooting the picture, the mirror opens and closes for taking the picture. Now let's talk about the pros and cons. For DSLR cameras, there are many types of lenses. It has a long battery life and in the viewfinder you can see the real light. Another one is it is very affordable and anyone can buy it. The cons are it is a bit heavy and bulkier than mirrorless cameras. The mirror mechanism means more moving parts which can cause more problems. But this DSLR cameras are best for beginners. Few of the best DSLR cameras are Canon EOS 1500D, Nikon D3500 or Canon EOS 200D. The prices of these start from 25k to around 45k. Next is the mirrorless cameras. It is the modern choice. What is it? These cameras don't have any mirror. The light goes straight into the sensor. You see the live digital preview through the electronic viewfinder or the rear screen. So these cameras are more modern than DSLR cameras. Let's talk about the pros and cons. These cameras are lighter and are smaller than DSLR cameras. The EVF shows exposure preview in real time. It is faster and continuous and it is better for continuous shooting, which means it is great for sports photography. These cameras are very good for videos. The cons are it has shorter battery life, around 200 to 400 shots, and the lenses and the bodies are more expensive than DSLR cameras. Few of the best mirrorless cameras are Sony ZV-E10, Fujifilm X-T30 and Canon M50 Mark II. The budget for these cameras are over 70,000 rupees. Now let's see the difference between point and shoot and smartphone cameras. Point and shoot cameras. All-in-one compact camera. Everything is fixed inside the camera. The lens is also fixed and you can't change it. This is great for travel and casual use. It has auto mode and auto mode does everything. It has limited manual control. Few of point and shoot cameras are Canon PowerShot G7X, Sony RX100. These cameras are generally good for vlogging. The budget for these cameras are from 15k to 50k rupees. Now let's talk about the smartphone cameras. These cameras are always in your pocket. The photography in these cameras is impressive. Portrait mode simulates bokeh automatically. Night mode has improved hugely because the camera itself does everything in the night. limited in low light versus real cameras. So real cameras are a bit better than smartphones. Great to start learning composition, and best camera, the one you have. The smartphone which you have at home, you can use that for photography as well. Now let's see which camera is right for you. So let's talk about the features about all these cameras. The image quality of DSLR and mirrorless will be best. For point and shoot and smartphone, it will be a bit worse than these two cameras. The portability for DSLR is not that good. For mirrorless, it's okay. For point and shoot and smartphone, it's the best. The battery life for DSLR is the best. For mirrorless and point and shoot, it's okay. And for smartphone, it's quite bad. The lens options for DSLR and mirrorless are very good. For point and shoot and smartphone, it's fixed and you can't change. For beginners, DSLR and mirrorless are great. Point and shoot is quite easy, and smartphone you can start from there. The budget for DSLR is from 25k to 60k. For mirrorless, it's 40k to 1 lakh. For point and shoot, it's 15k to 50k, and smartphone you have already owned it. My recommendation is for you is to start with a DSLR camera, and then you can upgrade to a mirrorless camera. Now we'll talk about lenses. We'll understand what a focal length is now. Focal length is how zoomed in the lens is measured in millimeters. So 10 to 24 mm is ultra wide, and it is perfect for landscape, architecture and interior photography. 24 to 35 is wide angle and good for street photography and environmental portraits. 50 mm, it is similar to human eye and it is good for portraits and everyday photography. 85 to 135 is the best for portrait photography. 200 to 600 mm is telephoto lens, and it is best for wildlife, sports and photographing something which is very far. We'll talk about the kit lens. What is a kit lens? The kit lens, which is usually 18 to 55 mm, comes with bundled with your camera. Like if you are buying a new camera in a store, they generally give 18 to 55 mm lens free with the camera. Why this is great? 18 mm is wide angle and it is good for landscape photography. 55 mm, which is fully zoomed, is good for portraits and detailed shots. This covers most common situations and it is good for beginners. This lens is also very light and it is affordable. But the weakness is the max aperture is only 3.5 to 5.6, where the background cannot be blurred fully, which is not so good for portrait photography. The first upgrade, you can get a 50 mm lens with highest aperture is f1.8, like Canon's lens, which is around 9,000, and Nikon's lens, which is around 11,000. This lens can upgrade your photos and your photography also will become better. Now let's talk about prime lenses versus zoom lenses. For prime lenses, fixed focal length. In the sense, you can't zoom it more. For zoom lenses, the focal length can vary, as you can zoom it and you can zoom it in and zoom it out. For prime lenses, you can get sharper image quality, wide aperture from f1.4 to 1.8. It is better in low light, forces you to zoom with your feet, generally cheaper for quality, but you have to reframe it. Examples 35 mm, 50 mm and 85 mm. For zoom lenses, one lens covers many situations like 18 mm, 150 mm, 200 mm and many more. And it is great for travel and events where you will be in many situations and you need to shoot more things. It is more flexible in framing, but it usually narrows max aperture from 4 to 5.6. It can be a bit heavier and a bit more expensive. The examples are 18 to 1 to 55 mm or 70 to 200 mm. Now we'll talk about must-have accessories for photography. The essentials. You can start with these. Once you buy a camera, a memory card is the most important thing. Without a memory card, you can't even shoot pictures. With a memory card, the pictures you shoot will be stored in the card, and after that you can copy it to your laptop or anywhere. Then you can carry a spare battery just in case your main battery runs out. You can have this battery and shoot easily. A camera bag is also very essential to carry all of your lenses, the spare battery, memory cards, and the camera body. You must have a cleaning kit to clean your camera regularly, or else the lenses, the mirror, and other parts of the cameras may get dust and fungus. A tripod is also very necessary if you are doing sports and night photography because you will be shooting with very low shutter speed. A UV filter is also necessary because it protects your lenses from damages and dust. So these are the things you don't really need as a beginner. So don't waste money on these things. External flash. Unless you learn how to use a flash and you're a professional at it, don't waste your money on that because it can be quite expensive and it won't be of any use. Expensive ND filters are also not of use. It is recommended to just buy UV filters, and you can buy ND filters if you're shooting low light photography and once you become a professional at it. You don't need to buy remote shutter releases which are a bit expensive, and while shooting with a tripod you can shoot with this remote which won't let your camera be shook. But for now this is not important. Heavy studio lighting kits are not at all important because you won't be shooting in those kinds of places for now, and they are very expensive and they are heavy, so it's hard to carry it as well. Color calibration charts, even these are not important. They are only used for advanced commercial works and it's not needed as a beginner. So it's recommended to master what you are now as a beginner, like with your tripod, battery, memory card and all that. After that you can become a professional in all these things. Now let's talk about how to hold your camera. The grips prevent camera shake and sharper photos every time. The right way to hold your camera. First one, right hand grip. Hold your camera firmly with your right hand. Index finger rests lightly on the shutter button. So if you spot a subject, you can just shoot it. The left hand support. The left hand should be kept on the lens so that you can zoom it in or zoom it out and avoid camera shake. Elbows in. You can tuck both elbows tight against your chest, turns your body into a human tripod so that you don't shake your camera. Feet shoulder width apart. Stand stable, one foot slightly forward gives even better balance. Breathe out, exhale and press at the bottom of your breath. Be calm while shooting. Get a good composition. Don't make it underexposed or overexposed. Think for few seconds and then shoot. You'll get a perfect picture. Now let's talk about viewfinder versus live view screen. Viewfinder is the hole you see in the camera where you can see the subject. The camera presses against your face. It is extra stability point. It's a third contact. Works in bright sunlight. You don't need to glare at anything for that. Less battery drawn than live view. Recommended for most situations. The large for live view screen, the large rear LCD screen. It's great for low angle and high angle shots. Easier to see composition details, harder to see in bright sunlight, and drains battery faster. This is mainly used for videos and creative angles. This week's practice mission. Task 1. Camera treasure hunt. Pick up your camera or a phone and find button or dial. Look for all these buttons and work on your exposure and composition. Task 2. Take 30 photos in auto mode. In the sense, the camera will do everything. You just need to look for the subject. Task 3. Pick your best 5 in those 30 pictures. And you may delete the other 25 bad pictures. Task 4. Get a cleaning kit and clean your lenses and camera body. You may share your best pictures in the comment. I'll personally reply to everyone. You have made it. Week 1's class is complete. What you learned today: how a camera works, DSLR versus mirrorless versus point and shoot, focal length and types of lenses, must have accessories, the correct way to hold your camera. Next week we'll do about camera controls, mode dial, menus, settings, and your first manual shot. Thank you and leave your feedback. Be waiting for the next week's class. Thank you.